start out when they're investigating the crime, and he ends up in jail. Whether or not he should have is...
Well, currently being debated. So.
Still, 2 years later.
Yeah. Just a moment while I steal the video here. Brand new laptop.
Yeah. Sorry, in the meantime, he got arrested because he and a bunch of people, some of whom are here in the audience, I don't know if they want to hide or say who they are, a bunch of people were playing what's called urban golf in Seattle.
How come I know?
I don't know. Is your laptop?
There we go.
Because it's dual view. So if you could tell us what urban golf is really quick.
So yeah, urban golf. Divide, are you in the room? No. Oh, son of a bitch. It's organized in Seattle by this dude Divide, and pretty much the deal is it's a prearranged, organized event open to the public. It kicks off here, various different locations, but that was Cal Anderson Park, Capitol Hill neighborhood. Anyway, what the organizers do in advance is they go around and they put little AstroTurf greens out on various street corners around the neighborhood, and you tee off from each of these greens and you play through, alleys and sidewalks and parking lots to little holes that have been set up in advance, and just so happens that each hole is approximate to a drinking establishment. And so by the 9th hole, which incidentally is where the incident took place, it's been a fairly lively and engaging experience. So yeah, it's a great time. Yeah, go for it. By the way, how are we for time?
We're fine for time. Don't worry about that.
I might want to be long-winded though.
No, that's okay. All right, so I have a little setup here. Now's the time I'm going to hit a golf ball into the audience. If you don't want to get hit by a golf ball, move. They're foam. They're not going to hurt you.
Nerf ball, by the way, just like in the real event.
Yes, we're recreating the real event. For some reason, we were listed as a demo on the website, so I decided I should do a demo. So.
If you want to get me arrested, you got to try harder than that.
All right, who got the ball? Who has the ball? Bring the ball up, please. Bring it up.
So I'm kind of debating how much, how much I want to ramble about all this. So how are we for time?
Ramble.
Okay, ramble. So I'll tell the story in flashback format, and where I'll start with at the point that I got arrested, and then I'll circle back to how it all went down. So at the point in time where the officer decided to arrest me, did the predictable thing, put me in cuffs, sits me down on the curb, does his thing for a while. Eventually he throws me in the back of a squad car. There were a bunch of squad cars on the scene. He turns the little in-car video camera that was facing out the front of the car to face me in the back of the car to record me behaving badly if I should have chosen to do so. And probably also to provide evidence that he wasn't, beating me up in the squad car. I don't know. Hauled me off to the precinct house. When we got to the precinct house, they made me stand with my feet, my toes on a little line of black tape while they took my picture. And I forgot to mention also they did search me incident to the arrest when they first put me in cuffs. Search incident to arrest, he turns your pockets inside out. I remember, when I finally found myself in the holding cell at the station, I'm sitting there still in cuffs with my pockets turned inside out. And, just noticing a little camera on the ceiling in the holding cell and this big gnarly metal hook embedded in the cement floor. I'm like, wow, how do you get yourself attached to that? And, having been, participating in urban golf earlier, I'd been consuming liquids and, I still had a fair amount of liquids on board and it was getting fairly uncomfortable. And I was waging this private battle with the police as I was not going to ask to use the bathroom and thereby give them the satisfaction of confirming that maybe I had in fact had a couple of drinks. But so it was, at a certain point I start to wonder, like, how long are they hang on to me here? They're like, I'm gonna have to use my phone call to have somebody feed my cat. What's going on? It wasn't too traumatic. They threatened to hold me over the entire weekend, but that turned out to be a bluff. They cut me loose after about 45 minutes, and much later I was charged. And I think if there's time, I'll ramble about that as well. But so circling back to the incident itself, I think I'll just roll the tape. Oh, you know what? Actually, I got to rant for a second before I roll the tape. The police, by the way, when I went and asked for the tape during my criminal trial, produced no tape. After the case was dismissed, I filed some Public Records Act requests for the tape. I was told, oh, well, we had a tape, but we erased the tape. I thought that would have been a violation of SPD policy, since I'd read the policies at that point. And so then I did some research. Turns out that the system they use creates activity logs for all the tapes. So I was like, wow, I want to see who erased it and when. So I got the activity log. Turns out they had the tape the whole entire time. So this is that tape.
They just forgot, right?
So I'll ramble during the first minute of the tape about the technical aspects of digital in-car video systems used by the police. Here the cop car's just parked because the police have been interviewing the complainant, that is the person who called 911 because he got hit with a Nerf ball. And at a certain point, they see a bunch of golfers at the other end of the block, and the complainant goes, look, golfers. And so two of the cops jump back in their squad cars and turn their squad cars around and go and, initiate the contact. And that's what's happening here. Officer Emily is turning her car around. And there's the bar that was the 9th bar in the course. And the complainant's here in white sneakers. And there's another cop standing there. He's going to walk over in a minute. This is silent because the camera's in so-called pre-event mode. It continuously records everything that goes on, but only when it's activated does it start to retain the video. And so it gets the 60 seconds before it's activated by the officer turning on the overhead lights, as the one up front does. Also notice that they park at an angle. That's to get the best possible view for the camera, right through the windshield and all that good stuff. And we'll get audio now because Officer Emily has just turned on the microphone that has...
Put your head over there.
Yeah, no worries.
Keep walking then.
No, sure.
Are you with them? Are you with them?
I'm not giving you any statements.
That's not what I asked you, though. I said, are you with them?
And I'm not giving you any statements.
Are you with them, yes or no? What was that about a statement?
Yeah. Well, to answer your questions, that would be a statement. I'm not answering questions.
Where did it have to go to? He's not giving any statements, though.
What's that?
He's not giving any statements, though.
Cool. As soon as we get to arrest him and let him...
I know, it's great. Head over there, come on.
No problem, no worries.
Now, I don't know if you can hear what he just said, but that cop just walks right up to her. She says, he's not answering any questions. And he says, cool, that means we get to arrest him and hold him for the weekend. He looks at his watch and says, that's it, you're not going to see a judge until Monday. And all I've done is not answer questions. Can he do that?
Oh, yes. Can he actually arrest you for that? No, not in Washington, where there's no stop and identify law. And besides, you're just minding your own business, and they want to ask you simple questions, so you can refuse to answer. Can he threaten to arrest you and, take your firstborn child and all that kind of stuff? Yes, the police officer is allowed to lie to you and generally intimidate you into saying things, but you also have a right to resist that.
So, wow, that's pretty brutal. Like, so if I assert my rights, he can totally just threaten to violate them left, right, and center as a way to maybe get me to waive them.
Well, up to a point. I mean, if he takes out his gun and points it at you and threatens you, yeah, he's crossed the line. But can he be generally mean to you to try to trick you into answering questions? Yes, he can.
Okay, well, continuing.
Thank you. Running around with the ball.
So, yeah, we don't really have the audio of my conversation with the officer here because the girl with the mic, she's walked away.
The audio and video recorded, man.
Your head. Would that help you deal with this?
So.
Hey, if you put your hands in your pockets one more time, I get to search you.
Really?
No. The police's favorite words are furtive movements, which basically means anything they want it to mean, and they try to turn that into a way to search you because they're like, oh, he kept edging his hand toward his pocket, so maybe he has a weapon there. That's why he's doing it, right? Instead of just, someone's really nervous because they got pulled over by a cop, so they're fidgeting. So, but no, obviously, at this point, you're not under arrest for anything. There's been no claim you have a weapon other than maybe a golf club, which you're not holding. And he has no reason to search you, so no, he can't search you right now.
Okay.
That's now on video.
For the next minute or two, I'll just let the tape roll, and some interesting things happen in a minute. But,
Cool.
Joke.
she just called me a joker.
You are.
So I guess it bears mentioning while she's elsewhere with the microphone that during my conversation with the officer here, I was careful to ask, am I being detained? He's like, yeah. I was like, so I'm not free to go? And he's like, no. I was like, well, why? And he's like, we're investigating an assault. And this is the first I'd heard of any assault, but in my mind's eye, I'm like, great, somebody drunk with a golf club just totally went to town.
Oh, can you pause for a second? This is also the usual, the police getting the law half right because they're cops. They think they know the law 100%, and they're usually half right. Someone got hit with a golf ball is a battery, not an assault. Genius. But getting hit by any object, by a person like, okay, I'm going to point you. That's a battery, and you can get arrested for that, technically. Hitting any other person against their will with any object is a crime. And so they have a right to investigate that. And
why don't you address intent? Because, I mean, the guy who hit the dude with the foam golf ball didn't mean to. We believe.
That gets into technical legal jargon, but basically, I suppose he didn't intend to hit the guy, but he's at least civilly liable for hitting the guy. And
oh yes, civil liability.
Civil liability, yeah, it's a pain. And then he's probably still criminally liable. I mean, if you're hitting golf balls in downtown Seattle, what do you think someone's not going to get hit once in a while?
We want to be very careful, by the way, to say Nerf balls or toy balls,
Nerf golf
not
balls, of course.
golf balls. So
sorry.
Yeah.
No, you do not have to show you are injured for there to be a battery.
Yeah.
Like literally, this is a battery. I'm not joking.
Stop.
Sorry.
You guys stay put, all right? Hand, red hand. Oh, you don't? It's not working for me.
No.
So here right now they're just screwing around with me, but in a minute they're going to start trying to figure out what to do about this whole situation because they're kind of befuddled themselves.
I didn't think you said that. I'm just making a comment on my observation of your behavior.
Also, a character's about to enter from camera right. That'll be the complainant, again in the white sneakers. And he's going to be tipping them off to the fact that he just saw...
All right. Was one of them... There's like 4 of them or 5 of them.
Are any of the ones that you're...
Do you know which one
Pretty sure.
hit you?
It's a little bit thicker, like my eye with a stocking cap. Oh.
So the complainant just, they said, so do you know which one hit you? And the complainant's like, he's a bit thicker, like my height, with a stocking cap. Also notice I'm right there. So this is legally relevant because, well, should they still be detaining me at this point?
No, because he just showed up and said, that's not the guy that hit me. They asked, he didn't exactly say that, but they asked, who's the one who hit you? And you're standing right in front of his face, and he didn't point at you and say, yeah, that's him. So really at this point, they should probably let you go. And also, is this possibly the reason why this tape went missing for a year or so?
We can only speculate.
I don't know.
Well, I yelled at another guy. Oh, well. So, what do you think is the golf club? I think take the golf club to them and do that.
So anyway, the police, they're now conferring among themselves.
Have we gotten him to be able to
He
identify?
doesn't have his glasses.
He doesn't have his glasses, he says. They don't even have an ID on their suspect. And
We could ask him to look at his glasses.
we'll give the tape another few seconds to roll before I cut it.
Report them all as suspects, or
So, actually, no. So yeah, instead of turning me loose, what do? They decide to gather up the IDs of everybody on the scene, including people who couldn't possibly be the assailant because they're the wrong gender, wrong race, just everything.
Their IDs, we'll get them. You want to help me collect them?
do you have ID on you?